Hi, in this video, I'm going to share with you 50 tips that will be helpful for the early parts of the game. These are the things that I have learned through testing, experience, and research. But before we start, I just want to share with you that according to YouTube Analytics, 91.5% of those watching my videos are not yet subscribed. I'm humbly asking that you subscribe to my channel. Your single tap or click would mean the world to me. Greatly appreciate it. So let's start. Number 1. In the Dweller info page, you'll see bond. Common question asked around is, does it affect the whole party or just the two-person or two dwellers sharing the bond? I've tested this and the answer is, it is applicable to the whole party. Number 2. Perks. So if you are in a situation where you have limited number of water and you have to prioritize which perk to upgrade, should always go for the one that gives out the maximum benefit for the rest of your group. Say for example with Sarah, this perk gives out an increased damage to all members. So I normally go with this one first before I upgrade the others, like what you can see here. Number 3, still with perks. And now this is about the production increase perks. I'm gonna show you a comparison between a regular perk and that of a production increase perk. The point that I want to give here is that you should not be afraid to level up your production perk because it's not as expensive as that of the regular perk. I'm going to share with you an example. So here, level 22 perk going to level 23. For my healer, it's gonna cost me 50,000 water. However, for a production type perk, it will only require you to pay 10,000 water. Number 4 is the traits. I'm going to show you. So for the traits, let's focus on the attack. So there's energy attack and physical attack. Make sure that you are aware of what your team members' attack type is. For my case, I have my main attackers have energy attack. So Desdemona, Maxon. So my two attack type dweller both have energy attacks. And my healer has an energy attack. It's really important later on during the battle so that you know which buff to get on those buff crates. Number 5, still under the traits, is the range. I have a separate video for this. I will put the link in the description down below, but I just want you to know that you can arrange the order of your dwellers in a battle, which can help you give an advantage whenever you do PvP or PvE. Number 6, I'm gonna go back to Bond. So, if you are focused on PvP, did you know that most of the dwellers in the game, most of the SR and SSR dwellers in the game are human? So if you are a PvP focused player, I suggest that you go with the Institute Bond because the Institute Bond gives out an additional 15% damage to humans. Number 7. I'm going to share a link in the description below for you to have an access or view of the tier list made by someone who posted it on Reddit. Number 8. Equipments. You come to a point in a game where you'll have limited number of caps. So, in my opinion, you should prioritize upgrading the equipment that will heavily be used and be of an advantage for that particular dweller. So, like for an attack type dweller, I always go for the skills and the weapon first. For a tank dweller, I always upgrade the armor first. Number 9. If you are looking to boost your combat power, among the three upgradable equipments here, the skill always gives out the highest number of additional combat power. In my experience, it's normally twice as much if you increase the armor or the weapon. Number 10. Did you know that you can easily locate where you can farm a material? I'm not sure if this is something that most people know, but you can click the image of the material here and it will show you where you can farm them. And just one click, you'll be able to go there. Number 11, don't invest too much on those dwellers that you know you will be replacing soon. One good example is dog meat. He is free for everyone who started playing the game, but I'm definitely sure that you will be replacing dog meat once there's a stronger tank that comes along. 12. Tools. Make sure that you only update or upgrade the tools that you need for that resource or for that dweller. So in this example, Sophie, I am sure that I assigned Sophie in either a water room or an electricity room. That's why I have only upgraded her monitoring timer. This resource here, this upgrade here, the dashboard knob, it's applicable to all types of resources. 13. From time to time, I suggest that you check the list of your dwellers because you see that, like for this instance, Maggie and Simona, you'll see that they are assigned in the wrong room based on the perks that they have. You see it here, it's indicated and highlighted in orange. This normally occurs because there are times wherein you are playing around with your vault and you probably dragged that dweller to a different room. It happened to me more than once already. Another thing that you can see here, so we're now going to tip number 14, is that while you are grinding, you probably have a dweller that have already reached the number of tickets or posters required for you to rank up. So pay a visit to this or scroll this dweller library from time to time. We're now going to battle. Number 15, know your enemies. Just click this part here and you'll know what type of phrase is your enemy that can give you an advantage if you are going to use a bond. Damage type, you see here that, for example, in this one, most of them are physical types. So if you are in an incident where you need to choose which buff you will get, then you'll probably go with the one that gives you a physical resistance type of buff. 16. Scouting. You should always do this on a daily basis and go for the 2-hour scouting because it gives out the most number of rewards. 17. While you're at it, go to the battle and finish all the large battles that you have unlocked already. It gives out the most number of materials with the least number of Radix. I've tested this one and posted it on another video that I've created. It might take time though because there's no sweep here. 18. Explore the map first before you engage with an enemy. This will help prepare you for the battle. You can choose which available buffs you need. You can also prepare and use the item that you need before that battle. 19. Sweep. If you have time, as much as possible, you should avoid sweep because it will give you lesser amount of rewards compared if you run it manually. 20. Stealth Boy. I'm not sure if you guys are using this, but Stealth Boy is really helpful whenever you are in a battle where you think you will lose. For instance, you are in a battle and you think that your priest or your tank is gonna die. Just hit Stealth Boy, get out of that battle, move to like the other room beside that battle, use Steam Packs, Rad away, or heal those or revive those who have already died, and get back and finish the battle that you've started. 21. Stimulants. I always use stimulants before I battle a boss. In my case, I use it to my tank because when my tank uses his skill, it usually gets the aggro of the boss, making my four other dwellers safe from the boss's attack. 22. Ropes and radar. So apart from the obvious that you can use these two items to avoid the radiated rooms or the rooms that are on fire, you can use these two items to finish an incident that's too hard for you, where your combat power is lower than that of the enemy. I encountered this one when I was farming for a material that I need to upgrade my equipment, and the enemy is too hard for me yet. So what I did is, I think it was a capture the objective incident. I finished it. I captured the objective by just using by directly using rope to the objective room. And then once done, you can easily sweep that incident so that you can farm for your for the materials that you need. Again, this is the rare cases that I use my sweeps. 23. Manual battle. There will be times where you have to turn off your auto battle. And one good example is if you are in front of a huge darkened Murloc. It says here that this enemy has an ability of physical reflection. You will have to time your skill when the huge darkened Murloc is not in the reflect stance. Another instance that I can think of is when you are in front of an enemy that is getting ready for a huge attack. I think this is applicable to the first guild boss. So as soon as and there's even a note stating that the boss is preparing for an attack. It's a red note on top of the battle, and that you have to interrupt it. So if you have a stunner, you can probably use the stun during that time. We're now going to discuss attachments. Number 24, set effect. Just make sure that whatever attachment you wear, you trigger the set effect. It may be the full 4/4 set effect, or like this one that I'm sharing, the 2/4 set effect. 25, attachment rarity. The higher the level of its rarity, the more attributes that it will give. So I'm going to show you the blue or the rare attachment gives out 3 attributes, while the purple or the epic attachment gives out 4. And then number 26, don't hesitate on upgrading your attachments whenever you have the chance. After all, there's no XP loss whenever you upgrade an attachment. So you can just use that upgraded attachment to be consumed by some other attachment later on that when you're going to replace this one. 27. Set cards. So I'm going to quickly run through how to understand a set card. So let's take Minuteman Last Stand as an example. The 14 here means that there are 14 types of attachment under Minuteman Last Stand. If you want to focus on, let's say, for the head, item reduced to 5, it means that there are 5 Minutemen hats that you have in your inventory. And then those that are in green means that you have them, and those that are in gray means that you don't have them. So in this example, I don't have in my inventory a champion's belt. We're now going to discuss production. 28. Always check that you have the right person for the right room. Just like what I've said earlier, there might be chances where you accidentally switch them. Like this one, if instead of I just want to scroll, right? So if you happen to click on that dweller and move him or her to a different room, it's gonna be swapped out with another person from that room. 29. You can choose not to increase the level of your character because the increased production coming from the tools will be driven by the overseer's office level, and the increased production coming from perk will be driven by the shooting range room level. 30. Check your pets from time to time because you may have already gotten a pet that is or that has a higher level than the one that is assigned in your rooms right now. 31. The number of your caps. For the first few days of the game, you will feel like you have too much caps on your hand, and it may come to a point where it will exceed your maximum capacity. But that's just at the start of the game. It will eventually stabilize, as you can see here. 32. Idle dwellers. So if you have an idle dweller, you can maximize his or her production by creating even just a single production room and assigning that dweller into that room. If you have, of course, the capacity to create one. Especially if your idle dweller is an SSR, like for this one here, the regular production of an SSR dweller is 465 per hour compared to a regular or a normal dweller that only gives out 165. 33. Rush. So you have 3 times per room per day. On my end, I normally do this before I go to sleep because I'm sure that since it's already the end of the day, I have already used up all the resources that I have and upgraded the production rooms as high as I can with the resources that I have. So I'm sure that I'm getting the most out of my rush. Daily tasks. Number 34, free Radix. Make sure you claim all your free Radix every day. When I first started playing the game, I thought it's randomly given on a daily basis. But as the game progressed, I realized that it's fixed. So in my country, I normally get the free Radix around 11 a.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. 35. Events. Make sure that you look into this left side here every day because there are some events that only lasts for a day. That's based on my observation for the past few days that I've been playing this game. Say for example here, Wasteland Guild Day. So this event will only run for 24 hours. 36. Guild. See to it that you use up your 3 assists every day and your mercenary assignment every day. You should also attack the boss whenever you have the chance. See, I've already completed mine. 37. Research. Visit your research room on a daily basis to see if there's like this one. If there's something that you can already upgrade because there's no notification stating that you have an available upgrade. 38. Daily tasks. It goes without saying that you should always complete your daily tasks. You can get pre-war money from it that you can later on use to buy attachments or the lunch boxes that can give you an SR or an SSR dweller. 39. Radar room. Maximize the use of your radar room, especially in the early parts of the game, because level 1 gives out 80,000 resource, which is very huge amount at the start of the game. 40. Pillage. So you need to balance when to attack on a pillage because if you wait too long, then someone else might get the loot that is there. And if you attack too early, then you might get smaller loot than you could have gotten. For me, I normally attack at around 20 to 25,000. So like for this one, I'll still wait for a few more minutes before I attack. 41. Where do you spend your extra Radx? You normally go for farming materials that you need for upgrading your equipments. However, you need to take note that it's also something that you can use to farm for the posters that will help you rank up your production dwellers. Ranking up your production dwellers increases the bonus that they get from being assigned to that production room. 42. When starting a new game, I would advise that you go to the latest server. Because if you join the previous servers, there's a chance that some of the events have already been completed or the window for that event has closed already, making you miss out some of the bonuses that have been given to the other players. 43. Which box to get? I normally see this question being asked all the time. I have a video for this and it has a detailed explanation on which one should you get. But the short answer is it depends on your current lineup and what you actually need as part of your group. I will put the link in the description down below. 44. Master. As soon as you think you can finish one, do it. You will get an orange attachment that can be very helpful for you to grow and increase your combat power. 45. If you're done building your team, you can spend your resources on building your attachments. For my case here, I have 4 SSRs and I am sure that I'm not gonna get, there's very little chance that I get an SSR for a med or for a healer. So what I did is instead of spending my pre-war money on this golden lunchbox, I just spent it buying the attachments, which really helped boost my combat power. 46. Which poster to get? This is a common question being asked around. In my opinion, you should just save what you have first and just decide later on once you think you have enough to actually buy or to acquire a dweller or to rank up a dweller. 47. Storyline quests. Make sure that you stick and follow the storyline quests so that you don't waste any resource or effort doing things that are outside of this one. 48. There will be many suggestions from different social media groups and content creators out there. What I would suggest is while you take their advice, you have to test it out and see what fits your current setup. 49. RNG. It's always gonna be based on probability whenever you open, let's say, lunch boxes. I've seen some people who are lucky enough to get like 2 or 3 SSRs in one golden lunchbox, and I've seen a few who have opened more than 10 and didn't get one. So again, it's just the numbers in the back end that's running, and it's based on the probability that they have shown here. Last but not the least, 50. As cliche as it may sound, have fun. Most of us play this game to relax and have fun, so don't put too much pressure on yourself and stop comparing your progress to others. It will just drive you nuts. So there you have it. It may be a long video, but I hope you were able to pick some things up that can help you in the early parts of this game. Thank you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.